Welcome back to Murder Vault, the channel where we crack open the sealed files on history's most chilling murders and unsolved mysteries. I'm Michael, and today we're stepping into one of the most perplexing and heart-wrenching cases in American crime history: the murder of 6-year-old JonBenét Ramsey. It was the day after Christmas 1996 in the quiet, affluent neighborhood of Boulder, Colorado. A little girl, known for her sparkling smile and child beauty pageant crowns, was discovered dead in her family's basement, her tiny body bound, strangled, and bludgeoned. What started as a reported kidnapping with a bizarre ransom note spiraled into a media circus, a botched police investigation, accusations against her own parents, mysterious DNA evidence, false confessions, and theories that have fueled debates for nearly 3 decades. As we stand here on January 1st, 2026, the case is more active than ever. Boulder Police announced in late 2025 that they've gathered new evidence, conducted fresh interviews, retested key items like the garrote using cutting-edge DNA technology, and are expressing unprecedented optimism about potential breakthroughs. JonBenét's surviving father, John Ramsey, now 82, has said he's more hopeful than he's been in 29 years, citing these developments as a turning point. We'll unpack every single crucial detail, from the family's background to the night of the crime, the ransom note word for word, autopsy findings, investigative failures, major suspects, conflicting theories, media controversies, and the very latest updates as of early 2026. This vault is packed with facts, timelines, and implications that will leave you questioning everything. If you're ready to dive deep, let's unlock it together. To understand the tragedy, we must first know the people at its center. JonBenét Patricia Ramsey was born on August 6, 1990 in Atlanta, Georgia. Her unique name was a loving tribute. John, from her father JonBenét Ramsey's first name, Benét from his middle name, and Patricia from her mother Patsy's full name. She was the younger of 2 children in the immediate family, with an older brother, Burke, born on January 27, 1987. John also had 3 older half-siblings from his previous marriage: John Andrew, Belinda, and Elizabeth Pash Ramsey, who tragically died at age 22 in a car accident on January 8, 1992, a loss that haunted the family. John Ramsey, born in 1943, was a successful entrepreneur. He served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam era, stationed at Subic Bay in the Philippines, a detail that would later spark theories about the ransom note's signature. By 1996, he was president and CEO of Access Graphics, a computer services company in Boulder that had become a subsidiary of Lockheed Martin, boasting annual revenues over $1 billion. His Christmas bonus that year, exactly $118,000, a figure that would become eerily central to the case. Patsy Ramsey, born Patricia Ann Paugh in 1956, was a former beauty queen, having won Miss West Virginia in 1977 and competed in the Miss America pageant. She met John in Atlanta, and they married in 1980. Patsy was a homemaker who doted on her children, but her life was marked by hardship. In 1993, she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer, undergoing aggressive treatment and achieving remission by 1996. Tragically, the cancer would return, claiming her life on June 24, 2006, at age 49. She was buried beside JonBenét in Marietta, Georgia. The family relocated from Atlanta to Boulder in settling into a grand 15-room Tudor-style home at 755, later renumbered 749, 15th Street in the upscale University Hill neighborhood, valued at around $760,000. The house was a symbol of their success, but it would become infamous as a crime scene. JonBenét was a bright, energetic child enrolled in kindergarten at High Peaks Elementary School. She loved dancing, singing, and performing, starting child beauty pageants at age 3 under Patsy's guidance. By 1996, she had won several titles, including Little Miss Colorado, Little Miss Charlevoix, Colorado State All-Star Kids Cover Girl, America's Royale Miss, and National Tiny Miss Beauty. These pageants involved elaborate costumes, makeup, and routines, elements that the media would later sensationalize, accusing them of sexualizing young girls. But to the Ramseys, it was a fun mother-daughter bonding activity, with JonBenét thriving in the spotlight. The family appeared picture-perfect, wealthy, close-knit, and active in their community. They attended Episcopal church services, hosted holiday parties, and enjoyed vacations at their summer home in Charlevoix, Michigan. Little did they know, Christmas 1996 would mark the end of that innocence. As we move forward, remember, this was a real family shattered by unimaginable loss. Christmas Day, 1996 started joyfully for the Ramseys. They attended a festive party at the home of close friends, Fleet and Priscilla White in Boulder. JonBenét, dressed in holiday cheer, received a new bicycle as a gift from her parents, a shiny reminder of childhood wonder. The family returned home around 9 to 10 p.m., with Patsy carrying JonBenét upstairs to bed, as the little girl had fallen asleep in the car. John and Patsy have consistently stated they went to bed soon after, planning an early flight the next morning to Michigan for a family vacation. But what unfolded in the quiet hours that followed remains one of the case's greatest mysteries. Autopsy findings later revealed undigested pineapple in JonBenét's stomach, fruit that had been eaten 1 to 3 hours before her death. A bowl of pineapple with milk was found on the kitchen table, bearing Patsy's fingerprints on the bowl and Burke's on a nearby spoon. Neither parent recalled serving it that night, raising questions about whether JonBenét woke up for a late-night snack or if someone else was involved. Now let's turn to the neighbors' accounts, crucial pieces of circumstantial evidence that have fueled speculation for decades. These testimonies come from police reports, interviews, and books, like Lawrence Schiller's Perfect Murder, Perfect Town, and they've been dissected in documentaries and online forums. No neighbors reported seeing intruders or vehicles, but several noted anomalies that night in the quiet, holiday deserted neighborhood. First, Scott Gibbons, who lived immediately north of the Ramseys. Around midnight, while glancing out his kitchen window, he observed lights on in the Ramseys' upper kitchen or butler's pantry area, dimmed low but noticeably illuminated. In his police statement, Gibbons emphasized this was highly unusual. In the 5 years he'd lived next door, he'd never seen those specific lights on at that hour. He didn't report seeing movement or shadows, just the eerie glow suggesting someone was active in the house long after bedtime. This ties directly to the pineapple evidence, implying late-night activity in the kitchen. Next, Melody Stanton, who lived across the street south of the Ramseys. Stanton went to bed around 10 p.m. with her window slightly ajar for fresh air. She awoke abruptly shortly after midnight. Estimates place it between midnight and 2 a.m. to what she described as one loud, terrifying child's scream emanating from the direction of the Ramsey home. In her initial police interview, she called it the most horrible, loudest, incredible scream I have ever heard in my life. Clearly from a child, and lasting 3 to 5 seconds. No follow-up cries or sounds ensued. Her husband, Luther Stanton, reportedly heard a subsequent metal-on-concrete noise from the same direction, possibly linked to the basement grate or a vent system. Stanton didn't report it immediately, shocked by the murder news and doubting herself since no one else mentioned it. Under media scrutiny later, she wavered slightly, suggesting it might have been negative energy or even from 2 nights prior. But her original sworn statement to police held firm as occurring that Christmas night. Audio tests conducted by investigators showed a scream from the basement could travel outward via an open air duct and pipe system near the boiler room, amplifying it to neighbors but muffling it upstairs to the parents' 3rd floor bedroom. Tragically, Melody Stanton passed away in April 2024 at age 77, taking her first-hand account with her. Other neighbors added layers. Luther Shirato, across the street, noted the Ramseys' outside security light, which was typically on every night, was unusually off that evening, plunging the front yard into darkness. Bill Cox, house sitting next door to the Ramseys, reported seeing lights on in unusual places inside the home, and possibly a door slightly ajar, though his timing was vague. Joe Barnhill, an elderly neighbor who lived next door, didn't hear anything that night, but later told police he had seen JonBenét riding her new bike outside on Christmas morning, a detail the Ramseys disputed, saying the bike was inside. Barnhill also mentioned seeing a suspicious person around the neighborhood in prior days, but nothing specific to the night. Diane Brumfitt, another nearby resident, confirmed she heard no scream but corroborated Stanton's report in discussions with police, noting the neighborhood's acoustics could carry sounds oddly. These accounts, the scream via the basement vent, the unusual lights, the off-security light, have been pivotal. They suggest activity between midnight and 2 a.m., aligning with the estimated time of death around 1 a.m., based on rigor mortis and body temperature. For intruder theorists, they point to an assault heard outside but not inside. For skeptics, they raise questions about why the parents heard nothing. No matter the interpretation, these neighbor testimonies remain some of the most eye-catching clues in this enduring mystery. The nightmare truly began at approximately 5:30 a.m. on December 26th, when Patsy Ramsey descended the spiral back staircase from the kitchen and discovered the 2.5-page handwritten ransom note sprawled across a step. Written on a legal pad from their own home using a Sharpie pen also found in the house. The note demanded $118,000, an oddly specific amount matching John's recent bonus to the penny. It promised a call between 8 and 10 a.m., but warned of dire consequences, including beheading JonBenét if instructions weren't followed. Patsy, in a panic, dialed 911 at 5:52 a.m. The call, later enhanced and analyzed, captured her frantic words. "We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please. There's a note left and our daughter is gone." Officer Rick French arrived within minutes, followed by others, but the response was critically flawed from the start. Treating it as a kidnapping, police conducted only a cursory search, missing the latched wooden door to the basement wine cellar. No perimeter was secured. Friends and family, including the Whites and Reverend Roll Hoverstock, were allowed in, leading to massive contamination. Surfaces wiped, items moved. footprints everywhere. As hours ticked by with no ransom call, tension mounted. Around 1 p.m., Detective Linda Arndt instructed John Ramsey and Fleet White to search the house, top to bottom, for anything amiss. Starting in the basement, John unlatched the overlooked wine cellar door and made the horrifying discovery at about 1:05 p.m. JonBenét's body on the cold floor, partially covered by a white blanket from the dryer, her favorite Barbie nightgown nearby. Duct tape sealed her mouth, a nylon cord garrote encircled her neck, and her wrists were loosely bound in front, easily slipped off. Rigor mortis had set in, with visible bruising and blood. In a father's desperate instinct, John removed the duct tape, scooped up her body, and carried it upstairs to the living room, laying it near the Christmas tree. Actions that irreparably compromised evidence like fibers and DNA transfer. Arndt covered the body with a blanket and sweatshirt. The coroner's team didn't remove it until 10:45 p.m., after a day of chaos. This chapter's events highlight the investigation's early failures: a contaminated scene, delayed body removal, and a shift from kidnapping to homicide that caught everyone off guard. The autopsy, performed by Boulder County Coroner John Meyer on December 27th, ruled the death a homicide. Asphyxia by strangulation associated with craniocerebral trauma. JonBenét had suffered an 8.5-inch linear skull fracture on the right side, a devastating blow from a blunt object, possibly a flashlight. One was found on the kitchen counter but never tested, or golf club from the home. The garrote, fashioned from white nylon cord, and the broken handle of Patsy's art paintbrush. Bristles found in her supplies, but the bottom third missing, was twisted tightly, embedding into her neck and causing petechial hemorrhaging. Abrasions on her back and face suggested possible stun gun use. Marks matching prongs, though the Ramseys denied owning one. Vaginal area evidence was chilling: chronic inflammation, fresh blood, abrasions, and bruising, indicating possible sexual assault. The area appeared wiped clean with a cloth, and no semen was present, but trace amounts of unknown male DNA, not semen, were found in bloodstains on her underwear and under her fingernails. Additional touch DNA on her long johns matched this unknown male profile. Undigested pineapple in her stomach placed her last meal 1 to 3 hours before death. Duct tape over her mouth contained fibers, consistent with Patsy's clothing from the Christmas party. A pubic hair on the blanket didn't match the family. An unidentified high-tech boot print was near the body. No family member owned such boots. The basement window was broken. John claimed he broke it months earlier after locking himself out, but a suitcase was positioned below as a potential step stool, with fibers matching the carpet. Rope found in a guest room didn't match the garrote. Over 1,058 pieces of evidence were collected, including 1,500 letters and tips, 200 DNA samples, and 1,000 interviews by 2016. Yet much was compromised by the unsecured scene. These findings paint a picture of a violent, possibly staged attack, with the DNA becoming the case's holy grail. Entered into CODIS in 2003, but yielding no matches until advanced testing in recent years. The Boulder Police Department's handling was marred by inexperience. Only one homicide that year. Immediate searches of the Atlanta and Michigan homes yielded nothing. The Ramseys gave a CNN interview on January 1st, 1997, pleading innocence, but drawing suspicion for not cooperating fully at first. Formal interviews delayed until April 1997. By February, half-siblings were cleared. Handwriting analysis cleared John was inconclusive for Patsy. Key twists. A practice note draft found. Stun gun theory emerged. Enhanced 911 tape suggested Burke's voice and background. Disputed. Detective Steve Thomas resigned in 1998, blaming DA compromises. Lou Smith quit supporting intruder. Grand jury, September 1998 to October 1999, voted to indict parents for child abuse resulting in death and accessory. DA. Alex Hunter declined due to insufficient evidence, unsealed in 2013. Suspects: false confessor John Mark Carr, 2006, DNA no match. Pedophile Gary Oliva, arrested 2016 for child exploitation, claimed confession in letters, DNA no. Pageant photographer Randy Simons, 2019 child porn arrest. Suspicious but cleared. Santa Bill McReynolds, cleared. Housekeeper Linda Hoffman Pugh, cleared. Neighbor Joe Barnhill mentioned seeing a suspicious person prior, but no link. Over 60 suspects investigated. Controversies: police versus DA feud. Media leaks. Ramsey sued for defamation versus Thomas. Settled 2002 versus CBS 2016 Burke theory. Settled 2019. 2008 Dia Mary Lacey exonerated family on touch DNA. Case reopened 2009. 2016 analysis showed up to 6 DNA profiles on items. Theories split the case. Intruder, championed by Lou Smith. Unknown male DNA. Mixed profiles from at least 2 others. Stun gun marks. Broken window. Cobwebs debated. Suitcase step. 38 sex offenders nearby. 100-plus area burglaries. Smith believed entry during party, hiding in basement. 2003 federal judge in libel suit. Abundant evidence pointing to an intruder. Family involvement, early police focus, insider ransom amount, no clear forced entry, staged note, movie quotes. Sub-theories: Patsy rage over bedwetting accident, staging cover-up, John assisting, Burke, 9, accidentally hitting her with flashlight over pineapple, CBS 2016 doc, sued, settled. Grand jury indictment vote. Former Chief Mark Beckner, 2015. DNA possibly traced inside transfer, not full exoneration. Media turned it into a circus. Tabloids fixated on pageant photos as sexualized, calling it a precursor to social media trials. Cultural impact. Books, films, podcasts, endless. Now the latest, Netflix's 2024 cold case Who Killed JonBenét Ramsey re-examined missteps with family input. Late 2024 Boulder Police. New evidence collected. Garrote/cord retested with advanced forensics. Fresh interviews, including recontacts with neighbors' families. Tips pursued. Chief Stephen Redfearn met John Ramsey personally, stating the case is top priority with evolving DNA tech like genetic genealogy, successful in Golden State Killer. John, more optimistic than in 29 years, this could be it. Burke offered DNA voluntarily. Results expected by March 2026, near 30th anniversary. Paramount Plus miniseries Unspeakable aired January 2026, dramatizing with Emily Mitchell as JonBenét. As of today, January 1st, 2026, the case remains an active homicide. The most promising phase yet, with police hinting at significant leads from retested items. In conclusion, JonBenét deserved a childhood of this horror. Nearly 30 years later, her killer may finally face justice through science. What do you think? Intruder or inside job? Share below, subscribe to Murder Vault, like if this unlocked new insights, hit the bell for more. Rest in peace, JonBenét. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant in the shadows.